I was the senior excuse me, of 13 years, she walked into the Bronx branch of a citywide chain of retail bookstores, Bookmasters, on the Grand Concourse near Fordham Road. We lived in the Bronx at that time. And the moment my eyes fell on her, I was in love. And this is how I know that love at first sight is not merely a literary convention, but something that happens. I courted her for 2 years. I'm a hidebound traditionalist. And the night I decided to propose to her, I went down on one knee, took her hand in mine, and I had been in school the class clown for 14 years, not reading what other people have used to get yaps, but, generating it myself, because I am also mythopoeic. She was also mythopoeic. She wrote poetry. I took her hand in mine, and as soberly as I could, I said, there comes a time in every rightly constructed young man's life when he wants to hear the patter of little feet around the house. So I'm buying you a mouse. She started hitting me. And then I proposed to her soberly, and she accepted. And I haven't had a chance to make surveys the way sociologists do, but I considered myself the happiest man in the world. I'm a member of a subculture called science fiction fandom. A good number of my friends, my closest friends, are fans. Being a fan is not a matter of age or gender or even reading interest. It is a matter of attitude. Because being a good sport tends to blur all other distinctions. And if there was anything else she was, and she was, because every man plays many roles, every woman also plays many roles, she was a good sport. She did something which my friend Derek Hussey did, which I wish they had not had to do. I told this to very few people. She learned to take me in stride. She said I was a high maintenance dude. That's because this has nothing to do with finances, because I'm diabetic and I have hyperlipidemia, which means I have to watch my blood glucose and my intake of fat, of all kinds of fat. So I eat no fat this, I eliminated butter from my diet. She kept track of my medical appointments. I have 6 specialists, staggering specialists, very good men. And she kept track of all my appointments, and all of my medications. I have to take up pharmacopoeia every morning. Same thing to keep down my, I want to show them a good blood test. My doctor says to me, you can lie to me, Mr. Phillips, but your blood tests don't. So why lie? You can trip yourself? So you try to be straight up, you try to be honest. What she liked most about me, because I asked her when I was courting her, what is it about me that you like? She said, Fred, it's your integrity. And what I liked best about her was her open-heartedness. She was mother to the world. She was good to the poor. She always brought something different up to our monthly get-together of science fiction fans and others who are compatible. You learn after a while. And she was one of the members of my International Book Hunting Association, the Ancient and Honorable Order of the Drowned Rat. She took that less seriously than she took me, because that would perpetuate itself. but I have to be, I need a certain amount of understanding, patience, besides medication. There was an article in one of the freebie newspapers they give out at the subways a few years ago. It said that the scientists at Stanford, I'm not sure whether the biology or the psychology department, had isolated a gene that they have tried to link with risk-taking behavior, including human migration. Now, on her father's side, Dorothy was what they used to call half Dan, half Danish, half German. And the Danes, among other medieval Scandinavians between the 9th and 11th centuries, were the most prodigious travelers in the world. They discovered Japan. They called it Zipangu. And so what I think I may have been dealing with, I haven't worked this out statistically, may be something very akin to a genetic anomaly. But she took us to India a few years ago, to Maharashtra, where the official editor of our Amateur Press Association journal was born, and I reported back. She was the technical editor of my desktop printed submission to our Amateur Press Association, APA they call it. I am one that goes to Australia, and I am one in Brooklyn, which has had, 600 consecutive publications, which is something of a record in the amateur press. And she kept coming with me, not to play into me, not to just to cozen me, but because she knew she had made friends at this open house, usually on the 3rd Saturday of the month, where all of the people that we had come to know were gathered under one roof. It was what they call in Japan the Hako Ichiu, the gathering of the 8 corners of the world under one roof. And very rarely was I ever at peace and happier with people I could relate to and discuss practically anything, because fans don't just read science fiction or science fantasy or sword and sorcery or heroic epic fantasy or supernatural horror. They read widely outside the box. I had to pare down my reading interests from 107 to 92. Giving up smoking was easier. Dorothea was in Budapest with me, and she had TBM, terminal bibliomania. I think it's incurable. She would point across the street to me and say, "Look, Fred, an English language bookstore." And I walked past and I had money in my pocket. We have room in the luggage. I said, "No." I said, "Because the Aristotelian golden mean. Everything in moderation, nothing in excess. 50 years of collecting, hand over fist. 4 rooms, a little over 12,000 books, of which I have had the doggone time reading a little over half. Now with diabetic eyes, you read more slowly. But we read it in bed every night. We read ourselves to sleep. She was the Shakespearean of the family. She was the Sherlockian of the family. I believe, at present, I am the only Lovecraftian. But it reinforced us because the reading of this particular type of literature was not merely for leisure or for enjoyment or potboilers, as they call it, but was didactic. I learned things. This was fiction, and yet you learned things from it. And it was annotated by a very dear friend, Sunantrayambak Joshi, who sent us a lovely condolence card. And so the support we have received from friends and family, from fellow workers, people I used to work with in the labor department, in the unemployment insurance division, has been enormously fortifying. And I wish for each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, that you are spared such a grief to lose a sterling human being like Dorothea. They say the good that man does lives after them, the evil that man does lives after them, the good is often interred with their bones. You can reverse that with Dorothea, because people remember her, and they remember the positive side of her. I'm very profoundly grateful to each and every one of you, friends and family, came tonight. And I know Dorothea will also be very proud and very grateful.
Thank you very much.